My name is Jonathan Wolf, and as a board member of the International Montessori Council and a senior consultant with the Montessori Foundation, I'd like to welcome you to the 2021 annual conference in Sarasota, Florida from November 4th through November 7th. I have the honor and pleasure to be with you tonight with my friend and colleague, Dr. Fred Luskin. Fred and I will be offering an intensive workshop for school leaders and teachers on Thursday, November 4th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. entitled, Forgive for Good. It's time to let go of the hurt, improve communication, and create better boundaries. Fred, welcome and thank you for contributing your time and talents to our conference this year. Tell us why this is such an important topic now.
Well, we just came off a very disrupted, difficult year due to COVID. Most of us have had our normal routines challenged. Our relationships have been impacted because we can't just, say hi and give everybody a hug. A lot of our human dynamics are done this way. And I think that that's had an impact on people's happiness, and it has challenged everybody, to keep on going. So I'm a Stanford happiness positive psychology teacher who has focused on forgiveness as one of the key aspects of being resilient and happy. That the human mind always creates resentment when things don't go its way, but we're not instructed enough on the importance and value of letting those resentments go. So forgiveness is one of those social lubricants that is necessary, often underappreciated, and almost always undertaught. So when you and I talked about the framework, it's teachers work in intimate circumstances with other teachers and parents and kids, and stuff builds. And if you don't have certain skills to let them go or articulate your point of view clearly to somebody, then it's not uncommon for resentment to build, and it will interfere with your happiness and you're just joie de vivre when you get up, and you won't understand why. So that's my long-winded explanation.
Well, Fred, this so resonates for me because as a consultant with Montessori schools around the world, I've had the opportunity to sort of get to know the Montessori culture. And Montessori educators, Fred, and you know this because you've attended our conference before, we're very sensitive souls. I mean, educators are sensitive souls to begin with, but Montessorians, they pick up on people's emotions and energy. They're very, very sensitive. They're really empaths. The shadow side of that is so many Montessorians, whether it's with children, parents, certainly fellow staff that they teach with, are really adverse to sharing what has hurt them, sharing what they feel is a different, a conflict. They don't like to say, look, Fred, I respect you and I love you, but we really have a difference of opinion. We need to talk about this. Yeah. Montessorians have a real difficulty. So they begin to carry around this baggage of resentment that only gets in the way of their teaching, not to mention their health and happiness.
Yeah, it's hard to want to view oneself as a nice collaborative person and actually be so, but also notice that there's part of our mind that is not happy with people, and what you're saying is many Montessori teachers have a hard time integrating that part of their mind that doesn't join the program all the time of smiley and good-natured.
Exactly.
The best analog I can give to that is in marriage. It's not helpful to not argue. I mean, there's a lot of research on that. You need to argue, but you need to argue skillfully, and you need to know when to be quiet. So just to be simple, I mean, from my point of view, you have to have some self-regulation capacity, meditation, breathing, imagery, knitting, whatever it is. You have to have some capacity to quiet yourself down inside to be able to have certain conversations with people. You need to be able to talk yourself down from blaming them exclusively. So that's another thing. And
Fred,
you need to,
it's so interesting that you brought up the marriage analogy, because one of the real stressors in Montessori is often the relationship of the teaching partners in the classroom, whether it's a teacher and an
yes.
assistant model or a co-teacher model. It's really a professional marriage. And unless there is, empathy and honesty and assertiveness, it begins to break down.
With different people, with different backgrounds, with different experiences, with different intentions. We don't see the world the same way. We have different processing strengths and weaknesses. We're designed not to have the exact same view of the world, but I believe also at some level we're designed somewhat to learn from each other's different points of view. So when people are not skilled at like conflict or even just assertive conversation, they either withdraw, they create a lot of drama, or they bully. And those are unskillful ways of handling things. I'm going to say that like allowing the world to be wrong and forgiving it, but still being able to stand up for yourself, that's probably a place to land.
Fred, I'm so jazzed about working with you on this. I know I'm going to learn a lot on that day on November 4th, and I hope all of you can join us on, again, November 4th, where Dr. Fred Luskin and myself will present Forgive for Good. Hope to see you there.